Welcome to the first episode of Starfinder Gazateer. In this series, I'm going to break down a piece of setting information from the Pact Worlds setting and give you tips about how to use it in your campaign. The focus will be taking this inert information and rendering it into useful plot devices. The first episode will be on the sun. Let's get started. At the center of the Pact Worlds solar system is a large star commonly referred to as the Sun, or Maharajas by the Lashunta, the Burning Mother. One might expect such a sight to be inhospitable and thereby useless in a campaign, but the Burning Mother actually features some very peculiar and interesting complexities. The Burning Mother is a nexus of planar activity connecting to the positive energy plane and the plane of fire. Creatures from these planes can be seen on the surface of the sun, from whale-like fire elementals and plasma oozes to Afridi and salamander. Presumably, intelligent denizens from these planes might have a civilization built on or inside the sun. Indeed, dignitaries from the plane of fire speak of strange ruins and an empire of fire-immune creatures. All sorts of speculation arose from this news, yet any attempt to contact them has been met with silence. Even the dignitaries who speak of them seem wary to contact them. Such silence has led to even more conspiracy. The Burning Mother has a set of strange cities called the Burning Archipelago. They are protected from the sun's pressure and heat via arcane shielding and are tethered together by magic. When approached, they open a tunnel of reduced solar energy that allows entrance into them. These cities remain an enigma. No one knows who built these cities, how they were constructed, why they were made, or why they were abandoned. To this day, scholars still study these mysteries. The Burning Mother has since become a religious site for the Church of Sarenrae, goddess of the sun. Though the Burning Mother is held in common by the Pact Worlds, the Burning Archipelago is its own protectorate, capable of self-governance. These cities operate very close to theocracies run by the Archipelago's Senate, but each city has a unique flavor. The Church is not the only organization to lay claim on the Burning Archipelago, though. Corporations have taken an interest in the potential of such immense solar energy. Using Serenite sun skimmers, they service orbital power stations to gather the sun's energy or bottle nuclear fire for resale. Other corporations fly gigantic robotic ships full of algae genetically engineered to capture this energy. But perhaps the most controversial of these technologies are jungle boxes. Through extreme genetic and magical engineering, plants can be modified to extrude complex chemicals that only the massive amount of nuclear energy available on the sun's surface allows. But these methods can prove hazardous, as the plants have been known to take on lives of their own. Twice in the last year, natural compounds have had plants go feral and devour their entire crew. And while most jungle boxes are now fully automated, they occasionally need maintenance. The known cities on the Burning Archipelago are as follows. Dawnshore is the most central and religious of the cities. It is home to the Radiant Cathedral and the Dawnshore spaceport. This city is usually the first point of entry, as a tunnel that allows entrance into the Burning Archipelago leads here. Stella Cuna is the center of academia on the Burning Archipelago. It has two major institutions, the Solar University and the Deep Cultures Institute, as well as a number of museums, theaters, and hotels. Fireside has the most corporate influence, containing large factories and headquarters. The three most notable corporations are Natural Real Compounds, Automatrix Robotics, and of course, Abadar Corp. Security here is very tight due to the amount of wealth in the city. Corona is a major trade bubble in the archipelago. It is dominated by the Brass Bazaar, a thriving and dangerous market of traders from the plane of fire. Verdian contains massive gardens that produce food unique to the sun's energy signature. For this reason, Verdian has a great many restaurants and is a prime tourist spot in the Burning Archipelago. Notably, the Vestrani gaming complex offers luxury and entertainment to the benefit of their criminal owners. Chroma though somewhat smaller than the others, is home to all sorts of sports venues, like zero-gravity racing along its edge, or the Dazzle Dome for illusion-improved wrestling matches. Skintalatrix is a small city along the archipelago containing worshippers of Desna rather than Sarenrae. Initially, there was concern about sectarian violence, though no such violence has happened yet. The Lucent Shipyards is not a city per se, but it is one of the bubbles along the Burning Archipelago. While it is not a residence, the entire area has been converted to starship manufacturing. Many corporations operate here, but the Sanjavel Space Flight Systems operates primarily. Finally, Asana Town is a city containing almost exclusively Lashunta. It is an ethnic enclave, and worshippers of Sarenrae belong to a cult known as the Church of the Burning Mother. It is a concern of the Archipelago Senate, as their weapon stockpile is too large for such a small population. Entrance into the city via the solar tunnel is guarded by the Sunrise Station. They allow entrance to anyone who can prove they have legitimate business in the Burning Archipelago, but the Dawn Patrol carefully watches anyone deemed suspicious. The Burning Mother has plenty of uses for a campaign, whether as the entire setting or just as a part. Here are a few ideas of how to use the Burning Mother in your campaign. Number 1. The jungle boxes are probably the most obvious campaign hook into the Burning Archipelago. A corporation could hire you for routine maintenance of these boxes, which might include a variety of challenges aside from just exterminating the plant monsters that dwell within. A corporation would want you to keep it a secret, maybe even forcing you to sign non-disclosure agreements. They'd also want you to collect the samples from these creatures and keep the goods intact. And you could make it more than a standard mission. It could get complicated if you discover those plant creatures are a known side effect of the process and suffer unnecessarily as a result. Or maybe the compounds the company is developing are not as safe as was once thought, or even illegal. The opportunity to get an inside view of a secretive corporation's operations could spin into an entire campaign. Number 2. These competing claims to the Burning Archipelago could prove a point of conflict in your game. Private industry and scholars might want to perform probes and experiments that are dangerous to the inhabitants, devastating to the native cultures, or blasphemous to the church. What about when a powerful relic or ruin gets discovered? Who should have the first claim to that discovery? What if the discovery could be used to save people's lives, such as curing an otherwise incurable disease? Questions about the rights of various groups and the relative importance of enterprise could come up here. Number 3. Asana Town presents a real threat to the rest of the archipelago. This is a part of the plot of the Firestarter's adventure path, but you could just as easily use it in your game. They might demand separate governments from the Archipelago Senate, or seek to take the Radiant Cathedral for the Church of the Burning Mother. If your campaign is about cults, religious warfare, extremism, terrorism, or sovereignty, this might be a good place to start. Number 4. The Bravath, from page 24 of the Alien Archives, is the natural antithesis of the Church of Sarenrae. These aberrations consume all nearby light, although no one knows if this is because of hunger or because of some sick pleasure they get. Those that view them are driven mad. While it is unusual for the Bravath to gather around natural light sources, doing so could highlight this Bravath as an antagonist. Perhaps this could tie into the impending refraction that the Bravath's Alien Archive talks about. This could prove a very powerful and thematic antagonist for the Burning Archipelago, whether for an entire campaign or just for a few sessions. Number 5. The denizens from the deeper levels of the Burning Mother could finally make contact in your campaign. In the case of brief and sudden contact, their words would no doubt have many implications, especially if they are cryptic. A whole mystery would ensue, as the competing interpretations would no doubt lead to conflicts. In the case of sustained and prolonged contact, many factions would respond differently. Some might be inquisitive and friendly, while others might be xenophobic and hostile. After all, this will be one of the biggest threats the Pact has ever seen right inside their solar system. These ancient and technologically advanced people might be able to completely decimate the Pact. Concerns for safety, combined with scholarly interest, could make for a very interesting and morally ambiguous campaign. Finally, here are some player tips to incorporate the Burning Mother as part of your backstory. Number 1. If you are a worshipper of Sarenrae, it would be your holy zenith to take a pilgrimage to the Radiant Cathedral. This might provide an impetus to be in the Burning Archipelago at the start of a campaign, or be a character goal to one day get there during a campaign. Number 2. There is a large android community in the Burning Archipelago that work in the lower areas. Many of them are specifically built to be more heat and pressure resistant. Interestingly, these androids, built for a specific purpose, might be cause for concern for the Android Abolition Front. You could be one of these androids, perhaps driven to adventure to escape your lot at the Burning Archipelago, or because of your thirst for something more. Number 3. Security is important in the Burning Archipelago, especially in Fireside. And while some of these might be reputable institutions, there is no doubt that some of them are essentially private militia at the beck and call of wealthy oligarchs. You could be a mercenary or bounty hunter with ties to one of these organizations, especially Abadar Corp. Number 4. The Solar University is a cutthroat and prestigious academic institution. Being offered an office or even a chance to study there will be very valuable to scholars. They are at the forefront of planar research. You could have an office with the university either as an adjunct or a full-time, and adventure under the pretense of research. Number 5. The Brass Bazaar is no doubt home to all sorts of items that can't be found anywhere else. Given a 3D influence, it also might be less regulated than other markets. It'd be a good place to meet up to buy goods that you might have difficulty finding elsewhere. There you have it, folks. The Burning Mother. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss another video. If you want to see more, consider supporting me on Patreon. With just $1, you can decide on the topics of future videos. I'll be going through the Pact Worlds, but I also plan on doing the Forgotten Realms, Eberron, the Ninth World, and any other campaign settings I've used. Finally, I'd love to hear how you're going to use the Burning Mother. If you have any ideas about how to use it as part of a backstory or as part of your campaign, sound off in the comments below.